Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you're new here. Hi, my name is Rosie, and thank you so much for stopping by my channel and taking a few moments out of your busy day. I really appreciate it. So in today's video, we are going to be making this super sweet little portfolio. So if you're ready, let's get started. Okay, so what we're going to need is 1 page of 12 by 12 scrapbook paper, and let's go ahead and make a few score marks. So when we're putting it in on the 12-inch side, we're going to score at 4 and at 8. I've already pre-scored and pre-cut, and the only reason why I did that is because it gets really confusing the way that I was folding. I wanted to kind of remember how I did it. So we're going to go ahead again and just score at 4 and 8. Then we're going to turn our paper, and we're going to score at 3, 7, and 10 and a half. So 3, 7, and 10 and a half. So those are the score marks that we want to make. Now we need to cut a few slits into it. So let me see which side might be better for you. Okay, let's do it this way. So let me get it all in frame here. On the side where we have the 10 and a half, or maybe we should do it this way. On the side where we scored at 3, 7, and 10 and a half, the 10 and a half is on this side here on the right hand side, right? We want to go ahead and cut up to the second score mark. So 10 and a half. Score mark is here. We have this little bit here, right? We're going to go ahead and cut up to the second score line. We're going to do the same thing down here. So essentially, it's just going to release these 3 pieces here. Then we're going to go ahead and turn it so that your 10 and a half inch is up at the top, right? So here's our 3 pieces, our 3 panels that we just released. Now we're going to make some additional cuts. So we have our, let's see, here's our 3, 7, and 10 and a half score mark, right? We're going to cut up to the first score line on both the left and right hand side. So let me bring this up a little bit. So we're just going to cut up to the first score mark and do the same thing on this side. Okay? Okay, so now for the folding part, it gets confusing. This one here is just kind of folded every which way, and I needed to place little reminders as to where it went, because every time I went to refold it, it would come out different. Don't judge me. Alright, or sometimes I even cut the slits too much, where when I go to open it, all the pieces fall apart because I cut too much, and I ended up cutting all the panels out. It happens, guys, it happens. Alright, so what I find is helpful is to place little post-its on the pages so that I know how it's supposed to fold once I unfold it. Does that make sense? And I just want to make sure that I'm going in the right direction. Okay, so if you want to do a screen capture, you can, but so we have our 10 and a half inch score here on the left hand side, right? So we have our little panels, and they are 3, okay? We're going to work, let me bring this up, we're going to work on the bottom panel. So our flap, go ahead and just fold it over, then take all of this and fold it over. That's going to be our cover, okay? Then what we're going to do is we're going to take all of this here and fold it underneath the cover. So just like this. So we just folded it right underneath. Okay? All right, now let's just make sure that we're going in the right direction, right? So we have cover, page 1, page 2. For page 3, we have these panels on the right hand side. They're narrow panels, right? Let me bring this down a little bit. Go ahead and just fold over the top and bring up the bottom. That's our page 3, okay? And you can do it either way as long as one goes over on top of the other. That's fine. So again, I'm just going to bring over the top, bring up the bottom. That's our page 3, okay? So I'm just going to fold this up. So we have cover, page 1, page 2, page 3, okay? Now, let's go ahead and we're just going to flip it all over. So I'm just flipping it over, right? On the left-hand side, we have those narrow panels that we just did, the page 3. We're going to fold it over, page 3. When we open that up, it's page 4. Now what we need to do is we need to bring this bottom panel up, okay? So here's the bottom panel, right? Just bring it right on up. And you can see page 4, page 5, page 6. On this side here, you have the 10.5-inch panel now is on this side. Go ahead and bring that flap down. Bring over this. Okay. And then just bring this all over. There's our page 7. We have our little panel here, bring it down and fold it all over, and that's our back cover. So there is how we folded this little mini portfolio. Isn't it great, guys, having these little post-its here? I find that it's so helpful. Let me know in the comments down below, did you find that helpful? I definitely would recommend, if you like doing these sorts of things, and if you get confused as I do, I'm sure everybody does, put down little post-its so you know which way you're going, and that way you can, you know, kind of make sure that you're folding in the right direction and cutting in the right direction. All right, so now we have that. Now we need to close up certain pages to make pockets. So let's go ahead and do that. Alright, so now we're going to be closing up a few pages to create pockets and add a flip page. So what we're going to do is we are going to be working on page 1, and we're going to add a top loading flip. So what you need is a piece of scrapbook paper that is 3 3/8 inches wide by 4.5 inches in height. And on the 4.5-inch side, we're going to score at 1/2 inch. That's all of the scoring we need to do. So let me put this one back. Okay. So we're just going to fold. And then that's going to go right at the top like that. Okay, so we can flip it over the flap. This is going to fold up. Okay, so let's go ahead and add that down. I'm just going to use my glue. I have it handy. Okay. Alrighty, and let's go ahead and add it right to the top of page 1. Now I did make this just a hair less wide than the page itself, because I just want to make sure that we don't interfere with the pages being able to turn. So I made it just a slight bit less wide on both sides. All right, let's lift it up, and there we go. So there's our top loading flip. Now what we can do is, if you want, we can go ahead and just round the corners just to give it a little bit of interest. All right, so there is our page 1. Now on page 2, let me see here. I'm just going to bring in my paper clip so I can hold this down. On page 2, we need to make a side loading pocket. So what you should have is, it should look like this. There is an opening on the bottom. The top is sealed. We have our triple panels on the right hand side. So we need to close up between pages 2 and 3. So what we need to do is we just need to add glue here, here, and then here. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to add just a thin line of glue. Okay, and then we're just going to bring this back down onto itself. Now, I could have added my thumb notch before I glued it, but because I have, you know, a good amount of space here, I'm going to go ahead and just add it now. Typically, I would do that beforehand, but I can do it afterwards. It's not a problem. Okay. Make sure our glue is sticking. All right, so there's our page 2, and now we have a side loading pocket here. Okay, next page, we have our page 3, which is our triple flip. We don't need to do anything to that. On page 4, don't worry about page 4. Page 5, we are going to be creating a slant pocket. So what we want to do is we want to cut from this corner to this corner, like that. So I'm just going to bring in a ruler just to make sure that I'm going straight. Let's see here, there and there. Okay, so there's my little guide as to where I need to cut. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to cut right on that line that I just made. So I'm just going to open this up a little bit just to give myself some space. Okay. So now we have this here that we could use if we wanted to. So let's put this back together. So I'm just going to, I know it gets confusing because I was flipping it around in order to do that. So I've gone ahead and just cut that diagonally. I'm going to remove any marks that I have from my pencil when I made my little mark. All right, so now we have our slanted pocket. What we need to do is, because this is still open, we need to close this up. So all we need to do is add glue just to the side. So I will go ahead and, am I in frame? Yeah. All right. So I'm just going to add a thin bead of glue all the way on the side and just lift up this back up again and press down. And again, you could add a thumb notch here if you want, totally up to you. Okay. Let me just put this back. Okay. So let's just fold this back because we're done on that side. Page 6, we have this little flap. We're going to add a pocket to that. So first what I want to do is I just want to create a little thumb notch because this is going to be a pocket. And then what we need is another piece of scrapbook paper that is 1.5 inches wide by 4. And we're just going to create a double pocket. Let's go ahead and just add another punch, thumb notch punch there. And what we're going to do, let me face it back towards me. All we're going to do is we are going to add it to the flap to create another pocket, just like that. So all you need to do is just add glue from the middle on the side on both sides. So let me just show you here. I'm not doing it all the way at the top, just the middle. glue only on half of that, and then I'm just going to add it halfway to the pocket that's already there, the flap, and just attach it, just like that, okay? So if you look at it, we just went about halfway up and attached the second one. So now we have a pocket here. Now we need to close all of this up to create that second pocket, right? So all we're going to do is add glue to the top and to the bottom. So let's go ahead and do that. Oops, that came out really thick. Hold on, guys, hold on. Let me get rid of some of this because that'll just make a bloody mess. Okay, let's go ahead and just fold this over and press down. Okay. Okay, now I'm just gonna hold this up and just sort of press it down. Okay, so there is the double pocket on this side. So now we can turn this page over, and on page 8, you know what, here on page 7, let's create a little tuck spot. So all I've done is I've brought in just a little cut apart. I think it's what, 1.5? It's a 2, actually it's a 1 7/8 by 1 7/8 cut apart that came with my 6x6 paper pad. So all I'm going to do is create a little tuck spot. Now you can round that corner if you want. I think I'm going to. So I'm only going to do it, I think, on the top here. So we need to add glue to the side and to the bottom. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay. So the side and the bottom. Okay, and we're just going to add that to our page. Make sure there's nothing out there. Okay, so now we have a little tuck spot here to include some things. Let me put my little page thing back. So on page 8, I'm just going to create a tuck spot with this here, with the flap. I don't think I want another pocket, like a full pocket, but I am going to use the thumb notch. Okay. And then to create my tuck spot, I'm only going to add glue to the bottom. Okay. So just a thin bead of glue on the bottom. Push this over like that. Okay. Okay, so there is our tuck spot. And guys, that is the structure of our little portfolio. So let's take a quick look just to make sure that we're on track here. Okay, so we have the cover. We have page 1. Page 1 is a flip. Page 2, we have a side loading pocket here. Let's see. Page 3 is a triple flip. Page 4, we have a page. Page 5, we have a slant pocket. Page 6, we have a double pocket. So we have the pocket here plus the pocket here. Page 7, we created the little tuck spot. Page 8, we have another tuck spot. So lots of areas to add things. And for page 2, I did forget one. I see here, the one that I'm using to show you is another one. Now you don't have to do this. I decided to. And I just took a small piece of scrap paper that I had and just cut myself a piece that is, let's see here, it is 3¼ inches wide by 3¼ inches high, and we can add it right to page 2. And I think I'm going to round that top corner. Okay, so just rounding that one corner. Now I need to add glue here and on the bottom. And let's see, okay, there, oops, there, and on the side. Okay, and then just add it to our page. Not too close, remember, to the score mark so it doesn't impede the pages turning. Okay. Okay, and just make sure that everything looks good. All right, so there is our page 2. We have our tuck spot, and now we have everything sealed up in tuck spots that we need. All right, guys, so that's the structure of the portfolio itself. Now you can decorate this any way you want. Let me show you how I have decorated. All right, guys, so let me show you how I have decorated this one. So I have used my favorite tool as the closure. Let me go ahead and just open this up for you. All right, and let me put this tool off to the side for a second. So let me show you the cover first. So what I did was I attached, let me just take this off so you can see it a little bit better. I created this charm dangle for the cover. Let me push that off to the side. And then I found this really pretty sunflower here. I just placed a small cut apart in the middle and then just layered 3 different colored enamel dots on there. Let me see if I can get just a little bit closer. Okay, so on the cover, I just placed a couple of cut aparts. I have some stickers, I have enamel dots, and then here I had created some silver mirrored die cuts out of a frame set that I had, and this is actually a negative that I placed underneath the cut apart just to give it kind of like a different look. And then I also placed a little piece of doily here. And then on the side, I created this bow using that silver tool that I love, added a flower and button in the middle, and just attached it to a rose gold chunky paper clip. So I have that. So on the first page, here is our flap. I have placed a flower with a button and then a cut apart here, another enamel dot. And when you open this, again, I use the negative of the frame that I created that was cut out of my die cut. And I just layered it here, and I think it looks really, really pretty there. Added a cut apart and flanked it with a couple of enamel dots. Here I just added a cut apart, added some more enamel dots, and when you flip it up, I have another cut apart here and placed a ephemera piece here just to hide that 1/2 inch score mark to make that top loading flip page. And then on this side, I created this little tuck spot. I have a cut apart there, and then I used a larger silver mirror cardstock here, added my little thumb notch to indicate that it is a pocket, and then included this little photo mat here. I just cut a piece of scrapbook paper, layered it on top of more scrapbook paper, added a cardstock sticker and a gem just to complete that look. Let's place that back into the side loading pocket. And then when you turn the page, we have our three little narrow flips. So here's the first one. Just created this tuck spot with this cut apart, added some enamel dots there, and then included a couple of cut aparts. When you flip that page up, you have another page. Here is the middle page. Again, I created another tuck spot here with a little cut apart, added some gems on either side, and again, just included two little cut aparts. And then when you fold this down, here is another page. So you can see how you can include tons and tons of items using this sort of little flip pages. So when you turn this page, here is the frame that I was talking to you about. I made another frame here out of silver mirror cardstock, attached a cut apart and flanked it with some gems. Here is the cut up slanted diagonal pocket. I just included a cut apart here and included a fall sticker. On this side we have our double pocket. So on the bottom one I just included this little cut apart, but you have another pocket here to include more. Here's another flower, another cut apart, and another gem. And when you turn that page, I created another tuck spot here, added some enamel dots and included a little cut apart. And then on the last page, just created a tuck spot from this pocket, added the word thankful in this cardstock sticker, and then just included these two gems to help offset the sentiment. And then here I just have a tag from the collection. And then here is the back page. I didn't do anything to the back page. So there you have it, guys. There is the little mini portfolio that I created. I really hope that you enjoyed today's project. Leave me a comment down below. Let me know, what is your favorite part of this particular portfolio? What element? I'd really like to know. Alright guys, well that's all I have for you today. If you like this video, please smash that like button and don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And if you have, thank you so much. Your support means an awful lot to me and it really does help for my channel to grow. Alright guys, until the next time, stay safe, be kind, and keep it creative.